Coming to you live with my second ever YouTube premiere and marking 3 consecutive years of awards, I'm proud to welcome you to the 2020 JDefense Anime Awards. 2020 was, to put it lightly, not the best year for a lot of people. But throughout the year and its many challenges, one thing I found myself constantly being thankful for, more than ever before, was the various forms of entertainment that talented and passionate creators brought us despite a radically different work environment facing them. Studio after studio continued to pump out high-quality, engaging, and most importantly, entertaining anime for viewers like us around the globe to enjoy and help take our minds off of the craziness of the world, even if just for 20-minute increments a few times a week. So, what better way to acknowledge those achievements and thank them for their hard work than to recognize and celebrate my absolute favorite anime of the year? Before jumping into the awards, I just want to get a quick bit of housekeeping out of the way for the format that it'll take. There are a total of 28 awards spanning 5 sections: genre, character, music, production, and overall. For an anime to be eligible for an award, it had to have aired in 2020 and I had to have watched at least some of it. This does include leftovers from the previous year, but generally excludes currently airing ones. I also try to avoid nominating something for an award that it's already won in the past, so don't expect to see Kaguya and Shirogane win Best Ship again, or Golden Kamuy to win Best Cast. Additionally, do note that these awards aren't an attempt at being objective. They're my awards, and thus winners will be what I like the most. For those of you who aren't watching live, I'll include timestamps of each award in the description and comments so that you can quickly jump to whatever you're interested in. Now, with that out of the way, let's jump into the first section of awards: genre. We'll kick things off like always, with Best Action. Action is a genre that just didn't miss in 2020. Featuring a solid mix of impressive debuts and sequels to existing favorites. From fights that had me on the edge of my seat to jaw-dropping animation, these nominees never let me down. Here are the nominees for Best Action: BNA Brand New Animal, Fate Grand Order Babylonia, Fire Force Season 2, The God of High School, My Hero Academia Season 4, Sword Art Online Alicization War of Underworld Season 2. And the winner of Best Action is Fate Grand Order Babylonia. Don't be surprised if this is the first of many times that you see Fate Babylonia throughout the show, because my god was it stellar all the way around. While other major Fate anime like Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night had the protagonist stealing some of the spotlight and taking part in the fights themselves, Babylonia does the opposite, featuring a protagonist who acts as a support and enables the already powerful servants to fight to the best of their ability. As servants allied with Chaldea face off with those summoned to Mesopotamia, legendary warriors and literal gods clash in what are bound to be some of the most epic set pieces that Fate has ever seen. Cloverworks' expressive, dynamic animation perfectly brought the sheer power and scale of the fights to life in what originated as a text-heavy visual novel, and as a fan of that game, I couldn't be happier with how well their imagination captured the insanity and emotions of each major fight, even giving lesser appreciated servants a chance to shine. Fate Grand Order Babylonia is action at its best. But as hype as a good action anime can be, if there's any genre that we needed in 2020, it's that of adventure and fantasy. While many of us sat cooped away in our homes for months on end, being able to take part in an epic journey through a fantastical land with a fun, unique cast was the exact escape from reality that we needed. Here are my nominees for Best Adventure or Fantasy. Bofuri. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense. Danmachi Season 3. Golden Kamuy Season 3. The Misfit of Demon King Academy. ReZero Season 2 Part 1. Wandering Witch: The Journey of Elena. And the winner of Best Adventure or Fantasy is Golden Kamuy Season 3. Though Golden Kamuy has its roots set in history rather than fantasy, featuring some notable Japanese figures like Hijikata Toshizo as recurring characters, that doesn't in any way take away from the epic journey that the characters go on. As they explore in search of the hidden gold and alliances change at the drop of a hat, you just never know what twist will come next, and that combined with one of the most varied and frankly best casts in anime make it an adventure well worth taking. Another genre that would really help us in 2020 is comedy. As the stress and anxiety behind daily life took center stage, being able to sit back and laugh along with a lovable cast and their daily shenanigans was a welcome reprieve. I've always been fond of the way that anime handles comedy, as it relies not just on clever dialogue, but also visual gags to help deliver the jokes. These are the anime that I felt did that best, and my nominees for Best Comedy or Slice of Life. Asteroid in Love. Bofuri, I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense. The Day I Became a God. Interspecies Reviewers. Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. My Next Life is a Villainess. All Routes Lead to Doom. And the winner of Best Comedy or Slice of Life is Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. I loved the concept that serves as the foundation of this anime, featuring 3 girls who form an anime club and dream of creating something unique. The 3 of them have a great dynamic with each other that constantly had me enjoying myself, be it because of the funny quips they shoot at each other, or just seeing them strive ever closer to achieving their lofty ambitions in their day-to-day routine. As someone who's often toyed with various creative outlets, such as the YouTube channel you're watching this video on, I found it to be the perfect mix of relatable, funny, and entertaining. Unlike the previous 3 genres, drama just wasn't able to keep up with the rest of the pack this year. As I was preparing for the awards, I struggled to even come up with shows that I thought were good enough to get nominated in the first place. Though it probably didn't help that I haven't seen some of the big ones like Chihaya Furu and Fruits Basket. As such, there are fewer nominees in this category, but there are ones that each have their own merits. The nominees for Best Drama are Adachi and Shimamura, Oregairu Season 3, Violet Evergarden, Eternity and the Auto Memory Doll, Wuthering with You. And the winner of Best Drama is Violet Evergarden, Eternity and the Auto Memory Doll. Last year, I said that some of the things I've come to appreciate in dramas over time are well-told stories, ongoing character development that doesn't succumb to melodrama, and emotional payoffs. Unsurprisingly, this Violet Evergarden side story excels in all of those areas yet again. Despite being an hour and a half long, it really felt like it would fit in naturally as another episode from the main series. Following 2 sisters torn apart by distance and time, it was touching seeing the 2 of them gain a new lease on life thanks to their interactions with Violet and strive to move forward. I felt as though the 2 letter delivery scenes were some of the most emotional of the year, and KyoAni showed yet again why they're one of the most beloved studios in anime. Thankfully, we did well with mysteries and thrillers this year. From surprising twists to tense atmospheres, darker themes to cliffhangers that had me on the edge of my seat, each of these shows were truly thrilling to watch, and I couldn't wait to see what happened next in their journeys. Here are the nominees for Best Mystery or Thriller. Akudama Drive, Great Pretender, ID Invaded, Made in Abyss: Dawn of the Deep Soul, ReZero Season 2 Part 1, Talentless Nana. And the winner of Best Mystery or Thriller is ReZero Season 2 Part 1. ReZero was without a doubt one of my most anticipated sequels of the year, and it lived up to those lofty expectations. As the setting changes to a forest cut off from society and shrouded in mystery, more questions are brought forth about the world they all live in, and the revelations and twists we got were absolutely befitting of the best thriller title. Cliffhanger after cliffhanger and twist after twist kept me glued to the screen until I finished it, and I can't wait to see where it goes in the second half of the season in 2021. And now we come to the final genre award, romance. Like drama, I felt like romance was one of the weaker genres this year, and I again faced the same issue of being unable to come up with many nominees for the award. That being said, we weren't devoid of it either. We had exciting newcomers, sequels to beloved series, and conclusions to longtime anime fandom favorites, all of which had solid pairings and some enjoyable developments. Here are the nominees for Best Romance. Adachi and Shimamura, Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 2, Oregairu Season 3. And the winner of Best Romance is Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 2. And what I'm sure is no surprise, Love is War proves once again it's here to stay with a dominant showing. This season, while still maintaining the same level of humor as the previous one, began to move the story and romance forward, all the while introducing new characters and dynamics to the mix. It has 2 of the best leads and one of the best pairings in all of anime, and every moment spent watching Kaguya and Shirogane inch closer and closer to confessing and realizing their feelings is a joy. Kaguya-sama Love is War is rom-com at its best. And with that, we close the chapter on genre awards and move on to our next section, characters. Along with the story, characters are one of those aspects of any entertainment medium that can elevate it to the next level for me. 2020 had a great mix of newcomers and established favorites facing off in nearly every category, and that made for some exciting matchups and very tough picks for me. We'll kick off the character section with our leads, Best Protagonist. As the main character of the show, creating a character the audience loves is of utmost importance. Whether it be strong development, an empathetic goal, or just purely being fun to watch, it's no easy feat to create a great protagonist with whom you can go on a journey with. But this year, we were blessed with a great assortment of leads to spend our time with. Here are the nominees for Best Protagonist. Katarina Kleiss from My Next Life as a Villainess. Kaguya Shinomiya from Kaguya-sama Love is War. Makoto Edamura from Great Pretender. Natsuki Subaru from Re:Zero. Sugimoto Saichi from Golden Kamuy. Yukihira Soma from Food Wars. And the winner of Best Protagonist is Yukihira Soma from Food Wars. Ever since I first watched the first season of Food Wars nearly 5 years ago, Soma has consistently been one of my favorite protagonists. He may not have the suffering and development of Subaru or the same level of humor as Kaguya, but what he is absolutely pure absurd fun. Even after more than 80 episodes, I never got sick of seeing him pull out some crazy recipe to beat his opponents in a Shokugeki and prove everyone wrong yet again, that he's one of the best chefs to ever enter Tatsuki Academy. He's determined, passionate, reliable, funny, and one of my favorite protagonists of all time. And now that Food Wars has gotten its last season, I'm gonna miss seeing his crazy concoctions, but at least I was able to send him off with a well-deserved Best Protagonist award. But of course, a protagonist wouldn't be complete without an antagonist facing off with them and pushing them to grow throughout the show. I'm particularly fond of antagonists that aren't evil for the sake of just being evil, but because their goals or methods fundamentally oppose those of the protagonist, especially if I can empathize with them in some way. And thankfully this year, we had quite a few strong antagonists who stood tall. Here are the nominees for Best Antagonist. Bondrewd from Made in Abyss. Echidna from Re:Zero. Executioner from Akudama Drive. Kingu from Fate Babylonia. Ogata from Golden Kamuy. The Stigma of Having a Harem from My Next Life as a Villainess. And the winner of Best Antagonist is Echidna from Re:Zero. Compared to the pure insanity that was Betelgeuse in Season 1, Echidna is a whole other type of monster. Under her cute and calm demeanor is someone truly befitting of the title of Witch of Greed. Though she seems to offer Subaru a helping hand at times, it's hard to adequately determine what her end goal really is, and that makes their conversations all the more thrilling. Echidna embodies my ideal antagonist that I described before the nominees, someone who doesn't necessarily have bad intentions, but her methods and ideals strongly contrast with those of Subaru. I also have to mention how well Maya Sakamoto does as her voice actress. She does a phenomenal job bringing that cunning persona to life. As much as I enjoy the leads, we can't ignore the importance of the supporting characters and overall cast either. And this year was phenomenal for casts. So much so that this was by far one of the hardest awards of the show for me to pick. Eventually, I just had to go with my gut, but I could see arguments being made for any of these groups of characters winning. Here are the nominees for Best Overall Cast. Bang Dream Season 3. D4DJ First Mix. Fate Grand Order Babylonia. Food Wars The Fifth Plate. Great Pretender. Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 2. And the winner of Best Cast is Great Pretender. The four leads, Makoto, Lauren, Abby, and Cynthia, would have had a shot at winning this themselves, but when you add in everyone else, I find it hard to imagine a single anime with a cast as varied and enjoyable as this one. From the other con artists who play a role in the cons that Makoto and co embark on across the world, to the villains they actually con, to the good people who get caught up in their schemes and come out of it as better people, this is without a doubt one of my favorite casts in anime. Wit Studio absolutely knocked it out of the park when it came to creating a rich world filled with likable, unique, and well-written characters. I hope you're strapped in, because my god did 2020 have an absurd number of options for Best Girl. Like I said last year, it's kind of hard to determine what exactly makes someone Best Girl, or Best Guy for that matter, Sometimes you know as soon as you see them, sometimes they need to grow on you throughout the series as they show their true colors and develop. For a lot of people, it just comes down to a gut feeling or reaction, and I'm not really any different. 2020 had not just a ton of brand new entrants to the pool, but also a pretty sizable number of returning favorites thanks to the dozens of sequels that came out. It was a hell of a crowded field, but here are the nominees for Best Girl. Adachi from Adachi and Shimamura. Katarina Kleiss from My Next Life as a Villainess. Ereshkigal from Fate Babylonia. Kaguya Shinomiya from Kaguya-sama Love is War. Maple from Bofuri. Yui Uegahama from Oregairu. And the winner of Best Girl is Yui Uegahama from Oregairu. Though I initially expected Oregairu Season 3 to be a heavily Yukino season, it was instead Yui who took the spotlight for much of the runtime, as she came to terms with her own feelings and the eventual outcome. Yui has had a place in my favorites ever since I first watched Oregairu a few years ago, so seeing the roller coaster she was put on in this final season hurt at times, but it just strengthened everything I already liked about her. Yui has always been the highlight of Oregairu for me, and this year, she was the highlight of Best Girl overall. And on the flip side of the coin, we have the less coveted, but still debated, Best Guy. Like Best Girl, this year also saw a strong mix of newcomers and established favorites, making it a crowded playing field. Here are the nominees for Best Guy. Anos Voldigod from The Misfit of Demon King Academy. Gilgamesh from Fate Babylonia. Laurent Thierry from Great Pretender. Miyuki Shirogane from Kaguya-sama Love is War. Yukihira Soma from Food Wars. Yu Ishigami from Kaguya-sama Love is War. And the winner of Best Guy is Gilgamesh from Fate Grand Order Babylonia. Gilgamesh from Babylonia is everything that Gilgamesh from Fate Zero wasn't. He maintains the power and charisma without coming off as arrogant, acknowledging the strength of the other servants he joins forces with throughout the story, and at times displaying his kindness and concern for not just those he rules over, but also the visiting Chaldeans. Caster Gil isn't just a great king or my favorite guy of the year. He's one of my all-time favorite anime characters. And to finish off the character section, we have the Best Couple or Ship award. Unsurprisingly, with only 3 nominees for Best Romance, this section is a little barren as well, especially with Kaguya and Shirogane having won it last year and thus ineligible this year. Here are the nominees for Best Couple or Ship. Adachi and Shimamura from Adachi and Shimamura. Riri and Yuyu from Assault Lily Bouquet. Soma and Erina from Food Wars. Katarina and Haramending from My Next Life as a Villainess. And the winner of Best Couple or Ship is Adachi and Shimamura from Adachi and Shimamura. Though this is more of a slow burn romance, it's one where I found myself rooting for Adachi as she began to question herself and realize she was in love with Shimamura. The small gradual steps that she takes to make her affection known were nice, and I particularly like the scenes where Shimamura reciprocated in some way, like the Valentine's message. Though they both have their own issues to work through, they make for a strong ship, and I hope to see it come to fruition one day. And now it's time for my personal favorite section of the awards: music. Thanks to COVID, concerts were basically non-existent, which was a huge bummer because going to shows is one of my favorite hobbies, but thankfully anime was here for me, with an amazing assortment of openings, endings, soundtracks, and inserts. Let's take a look at the best of the best. Like before, we'll start this section the same way that every anime starts off, with openings. Well, unless you're ReZero. I love getting to check out all the new openings at the start of every season, and 2020 certainly didn't disappoint. Between catchy songs and creative visuals, we had it all. Here are the nominees for Best Opening. Contradiction by Keisuke featuring Tyler Carter from The God of High School. Daddy Daddy Do by Masayuki Suzuki featuring Airi Suzuki from Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 2. Guru Guru DJ Turn by Happy Around from D4DJ First Mix. Ikoze Paradise by Stunk, Krim, and Zell from Interspecies Reviewers. Realize by Konami Suzuki from ReZero Season 2 Part 1. Sacred World by Reza Seelan from Assault Lily Bouquet. And the winner of Best Opening is Guru Guru DJ Turn by Happy Around from D4DJ First Mix. This OP is just pure fun, from the ways each character gets to show off their personality, to the upbeat and catchy song, to the vibrant and expressive colors, to the various DJ paraphernalia they seamlessly mix in throughout it. It perfectly encapsulated everything the show is about. Of those things, I particularly liked the colors and DJ references. The neon lights outlining two of the vocalists performing, and the crowd at the same time, were really well done, and the remaining mix of bright colors and some graffiti style was very visually interesting. As for the DJ references, we have a smooth transition into the other vocalists appearing, one of the characters hitting a launch pad in time with the beat of the song, and the main cast spinning on a turntable as they launch into the chorus. All in all, it's an extremely fun, creative opening that I found myself constantly going back to. Next up, we have the award for Best Soundtrack. I spend a lot of time listening to music, so I'm constantly listening for standout tracks and great usage of background music. From insane drops and action scenes to songs that rip you apart as you watch an emotional climax, this year delivered. Here are the nominees for Best Soundtrack. The Day I Became a God, Fate Grand Order Babylonia, The God of High School, Great Pretender, Made in Abyss Dawn of the Deep Soul, Weathering with You. And the winner of Best Soundtrack is Fate Grand Order Babylonia. Babylonia has without a doubt one of my favorite soundtracks. Between remixes of iconic tracks from the game like Grand Battle and Bonds, and some brand new ones, they had the perfect track ready for every scene and fight. But rather than try and explain just why I like it so much, and inevitably not do it justice, take a listen for yourself. Here's a minute-long medley of some of my favorite tracks from it that I put together. I'm no audio engineer, so I'm sure the transitions could have been better, but hopefully those samples show off just how good it is. If you're a fan of music, it's absolutely worth checking out even if you don't care to watch the show. But let's take it a step further. The single best OST track. These are the songs that I found most memorable out of everything I watched this year, either because of how the song was used in the scenes that it appeared in, or because of how much I like the song itself. This year struck a great balance between action themes, more emotional pieces, and even some jazzy bangers. Here are the nominees for Best OST Track. Absolute Demonic Front from Fate Babylonia. Embrace Your Feelings from Adachi and Shimamura. Encore from Great Pretender. Grand Battle from Fate Babylonia. Aoyang Seo and Samuel Nori from The God of High School. Prushka Sequence from Made in Abyss Dawn of the Deep Soul. And the winner of Best OST Track is Absolute Demonic Front from Fate Babylonia. This track, aside from being used in some of the best fights of the show, quickly became my anthem of 2020. Whenever I was trying to get hyped up for whatever reason, I'd listen to this. Whenever I wanted to reminisce about the show, I'd listen to this. Whenever I tried getting my friends to watch the show, I'd send them this track as an example of how good the soundtrack was. Whenever I was rolling gacha for my favorite characters, I'd play this track during my rolls as a good luck charm, and was pretty successful. It's an incredible track with a godly drop and it easily took the spot of my favorite track of the year. Now, as much as I love soundtracks, I think I love insert songs even more. The way they're able to amplify what tend to be some of the biggest or most emotional scenes of the show never fails to get me excited, and this year didn't disappoint. Here are the nominees for Best Use of Inserts. Assault Lily Bouquet, Bang Dreams Season 3, D4DJ First Mix, The Day I Became a God, Great Pretender, Weathering with You. And the winner of Best Use of Inserts is D4DJ First Mix. Across its 13 episodes, D4DJ boasts nearly 20 unique insert songs, which is just an insane feat to pull off, and I genuinely enjoyed nearly every one of them. Though as they lean towards EDM and I love that genre along with going to raves, I'm a little biased. The inserts tend to cap off each episode with the debut of a new song, and often feature full performances with choreography, lights, an active crowd, and even sometimes guest performers joining them. But what really got to me with the inserts in D4DJ was just how well they emulated a concert environment. The lights, dancing and jumping in the crowd, the way the camera rapidly swung around between different unit members, the production value, all of it felt like it could actually be a real concert, and it made me miss going to shows all the more. They even got the little details right, like the front of the crowd jumping and being more active while the back is more laid back and chill. The enjoyment I got out of the inserts from this show was unparalleled. And to once again take it a step further, let's take a look at the single best insert song of the year. As I said before, I love the way the inserts are able to draw you further in and emphasize the emotions behind the scene they appear in. On top of that, this year had a phenomenal lineup of performance scenes from the many music anime that came out, and my inner Bandori stan was loving every second of it. Here are the nominees for Best Insert Song. Absolute from D4DJ First Mix. Beautiful Birthday from Bang Dreams Season 3. Brand New World from D4DJ First Mix. Grand Escape from Weathering with You. Make My Style from D4DJ First Mix. Straight Through Our Dreams from Bang Dreams Season 3. And the winner of Best Insert Song is Straight Through Our Dreams from Bang Dreams Season 3. When it came down to it, I thought D4DJ had the best songs and performances. I thought Grand Escape was the biggest spectacle. But what Straight Through Our Dreams did better than anything else was the emotional aspect. After 3 seasons, after the various competitions and drama, after everything the bands have been through, seeing them join together for this truly incredible performance could only be described as cathartic, especially as someone who's been a fan of the franchise for years now. Though the vibe and song is a happy one, I choke up every time I watch it just because of how much build-up led to this moment in time. I loved the various shots of the different instrument groups playing together, the way they paid tribute to the other bands who weren't present for this performance, the way they managed to include all of the side characters who helped the girls reach this point, and the shots of each vocalist basking in the confetti and spotlight. Like the song title of Straight Through Our Dreams may imply, they not only achieved their dreams, but blasted right through them, and God was it satisfying to see. And now, much like how we started with openings, we'll close out the music section with endings. Like I said last year, I think endings are pretty underrated and often have the spotlight taken away from them by openings, but there are some really creative and enjoyable endings out there too. Here are the nominees for Best Ending. Goodbye Seven Seas by Jun Maeda and Nagi Yanagi from The Day I Became a God. The Great Pretender by Freddie Mercury from Great Pretender. Lost in Paradise by Ali featuring Aklo from Jujutsu Kaisen. Prover by Milet from Fate Babylonia. Straight Through Our Dreams by Poppin' Party from Bang Dreams Season 3. Wow War Tonight by Shano Himegame and Airi Amano from D4DJ First Mix. And the winner of Best Ending is Straight Through Our Dreams by Poppin' Party from Bang Dream Season 3. I bet you didn't see that one coming as soon as it popped up as a nominee fresh off of winning Best Insert, eh? The standard ED version of the song is no slouch either, with some beautiful watercolor-looking visuals depicting the many characters of the franchise in their daily lives. I loved how it showed beloved dynamics from the game that you don't always get to see in the anime. In that way, it felt like this ED was a love letter to fans of the franchise. The Hikawas with Tsugumi, Rimi and Mocha enjoying some bread together, the Cat Squad, Himari and Rimi cheering for Kaoru, Arisa and Ran sharing their love of plants, Saya hanging out with her friend from Chispa, and many, many more. And I'd be remiss to not mention the fantastic illustrations of Poppin' Party that start and end the song, and the final shot of all of the band's instruments together on stage. I couldn't have asked for a better ED for one of my favorite franchises. And with that, we move on to our fourth section, production. The focus here will be on the visuals, as I already covered a lot of the audio in the music section, but it will also have voice acting. We'll work our way up to the big picture by starting with the foundation, background art. Though the art isn't often the focus of the shot or scene, it provides the backdrop for everything we see, serving as the backbone of our visuals. Here are the nominees for Best Art. BNA Brand New Animal, Burn the Witch, Fate Grand Order Babylonia, Fire Force Season 2, Great Pretender, Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. And the winner of Best Art is Great Pretender. Not to sound like I'm dissing the rest of the nominees, because between Trigger's unique style, Burn the Witch's impressive realization of London, and Babylonia's beautiful nature, there was some fantastic stuff, but in my opinion, nothing held a candle to Great Pretender. After winning last year with Vinland Saga, Wit Studio takes home the award yet again. The art in Great Pretender is absolutely gorgeous, with bright, vivid colors painted all across the screen. From the ripples of waves in the ocean to a gorgeous sunset to the streets of Hollywood, I often found myself thinking, damn, I wish real life looked this good. The next piece of the visual puzzle is character design, and holy shit was this a tough one to pick. In fact, I'd say this was one of the top 3 hardest picks of the year for me. Underworld criminals, animal-human hybrids, performance outfits, legendary heroes. The list of memorable designs could go on, but these are my nominees for Best Character Design. Akudama Drive, BNA Brand New Animal, Burn the Witch, D4DJ First Mix, Fire Force Season 2, Great Pretender. And the winner of Best Character Design is Great Pretender. Taking place across multiple countries and even continents, Great Pretender had one of the most visually varied casts of the year, but even in the face of the many dozens of different characters you meet throughout the show, everyone has a unique, memorable, and honestly fun design. Great Pretender is a show with a massive collection of characters representing people from all walks of life, and Wit Studio did a great job bringing each and every one of them to life. And bringing it all together, we have animation, the category that made so many people fall in love with anime as a medium in the first place. I feel like I've been saying it a lot this year, but there really was an abundance of great animation, and not just the crazy action scenes that we all know and love. Expressive character animation and surprisingly solid use of CG also had quite the presence. Here are the nominees for Best Animation. D4DJ First Mix, Fate Grand Order Babylonia, Fire Force Season 2, The God of High School, Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, Sword Art Online Alicization War of Underworld Season 2. And the winner of Best Animation is Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. Eizouken has probably some of the most creative animation I've ever seen, and I loved every second of it. As the girls' imaginations run wild, their ideas and creations are literally brought to life before our eyes, and it sucks them and the people around them into it. For example, when they debut their proof of concept anime at a club presentation, a gust of wind billows out from the screen and into the audience, showing how absorbed their viewers are getting in their creations. It does a great job depicting that relationship between viewer and anime. As you get further drawn into the world and story, the animation and sound design, you begin to feel like you're a part of it. Now, let's take a look at the many talented voice actors who brought our favorite characters to life this year. Not to be lazy and repeat myself from what I said last year, but I think it still applies. Good voice acting will make characters more believable, help us empathize and resonate with us emotionally, and add nuance to the dialogue. Great voice acting is one of those things that can elevate a character and their role in the story to the next level. Here are the nominees for Best Male Voice Acting Performance. Chiaki Kobayashi as Makoto Edamura from Great Pretender.
よし、こうするべ。オラがおめえより高く売りつけてみせ。
Junichi Suwabe as Laurent Thierry from Great Pretender.
マジック、そう、桜マジックだ。エディ、独占的に君へ下ろす。
Natsuki Hanai as Yoda Narukumi from The Day I Became a God.
海藻の佐藤さん！何かじゃないよ！あなたの海藻にあった5球目はなかったよ！
Takahiro Sakurai as Cutthroat from Akudama Drive.
僕の最高の天使。だからずーっと君のこと殺したかったんだ。
Tomokazu Seki as Gilgamesh from Fate Babylonia.
聞いたか、カルデアの藤丸の心はまだ折れてはおらんぞ。
Yusuke Kobayashi as Natsuki Subaru from ReZero.
安藤は一人でずっと一人で俺は
And the winner of Best Male Voice Acting Performance is Yusuke Kobayashi as Natsuki Subaru from ReZero. Subaru himself may be a contentious protagonist to some, but what I don't think anyone will argue with is how absurdly godly Yusuke Kobayashi is as his voice actor. His anguished moments where he breaks down and his screams of pain will go down in history with Shinji's from Evangelion, and every other moment in between does a perfect job of capturing every aspect of Subaru's personality and journey. They don't call Subaru Sufaru for no reason, and Kobayashi really makes you believe he's going through it. Following that up, we have The Woman. Here are the nominees for Best Female Voice Acting Performance. Aoi Koga as Kaguya Shinomiya from Kaguya-sama Love is War.
作戦変更よ。いい？次の作戦を思いつくまでこの生徒会室に何人たりとも入れさせてはダメよ。
Kana Ueda as Ishtar and Ereshkigal from Fate Babylonia.
だからその方法を華麗に参上したわ。
Maya Uchida as Katarina Kleis from My Next Life as a Villainess.
花ばかりをもらっても困ると思って畑で採れた野菜を束にして包んだのです。
Sakura Ayane as Hina from The Day I Became a God.
わしばっかり名乗らせおって貴様も名乗れ。どうせくだらん名前じゃろうが。
Satomi Arai as Beatrice from ReZero.
ペティを一番にして一番に考えて一番に選んで契約を上書きして契約を上塗りして契約を塗りつぶして連れ出して引き寄せて抱きしめて。
Tomoyo Kurosawa as Swindler from Akudama Drive.
これは私のじゃないんです。だからちゃんと持ち主に返さないといけないお金なんです。
And the winner of Best Female Voice Acting Performance is Aoi Koga as Kaguya Shinomiya from Kaguya-sama Love is War. What's not to love about her performance as Kaguya? I couldn't possibly imagine anyone bringing her and all of her antics to life better than Aoi Koga has done. The abrupt tone shifts with Kaguya's shifting personality, the Tsun moments, the Dare moments, the devious schemes, all of it is absolutely perfect. Wow. Well, here we are. The final section of awards containing some of the biggest of the night overall. We'll start with my favorite part of any entertainment medium, the story. Whether it be an adventure across a brand new world or an action epic, a character drama or a tense thriller, I love getting absorbed in all of the twists and turns a well-written story provides. Here are the nominees for Best Story. Akudama Drive, Fate Grand Order Babylonia, Golden Kamuy Season 3, Great Pretender, ReZero Season 2 Part 1, Talentless Nana. And the winner of Best Story is Fate Grand Order Babylonia. I feel like Fate generally has pretty engaging stories, but Babylonia is the cream of the crop, generally voted one of the top 2 arcs, of which there are nearly 20, in the mobile game. And for good reason. It's a journey of the most epic proportions in nearly every way. It's a story that takes place during the end of the Age of Gods, in which humans and gods coexisted, and pits the two against each other in a last-ditch fight to save the world. It's a story about desperation, sacrifice, redemption, and hope. a story that seamlessly weaves together a cast of humans, gods, and legendary warriors, all with their own ideals and goals in a conflict on the grandest of scales, and one that I was on the edge of my seat for every step of the way. 2020 was really heavy on sequels, and because of how many popular ones came out, a lot of other great smaller shows went under the radar and didn't get the attention they deserved. Here are the nominees for most underrated or underwatched. Assault Lily Bouquet, Asteroid in Love, Bang Dream Season 3, D4DJ First Mix, Golden Kamuy Season 3, Warlords of Sigdrifa. And the winner of most underrated or underwatched is D4DJ First Mix. When I look at it objectively, I kind of get it. It's a music show which is already a niche genre. It uses CG for its animation, which generally isn't very popular among the average anime fan. But it's a fantastic show in its own right, especially if you'd consider yourself a fan of music. It's got a fun cast that just seems to continue to expand, but never get overwhelming. Its story is well paced, and follows the characters gradually discovering their passion for music and performing together. It doesn't let itself get bogged down by any melodrama, resolving any and all conflicts quickly. It has some of the best performance scenes and insert songs I've heard in any anime. And most importantly, it's just really damn fun to watch. Out of nearly every show I watched this year, it's the one I find myself going back to rewatch scenes in the most, and I really, really wish that more people checked it out. It reminded me just why I love music and going to concerts so much. And now it's time for the big three. Best episode, best sequel, and the highly anticipated anime of the year. Best episode will vary for a lot of people, and for me, it was probably the hardest out of every category this year to pick a winner in, because we had a damn lot of standout episodes. My own best episode usually tends to be the one that hit me the hardest emotionally, had some kind of great plot progression or twist, or frankly was just a lot of fun to watch. Don't worry, I'll keep details to a minimum in order to avoid spoilers. Here are the nominees for Best Episode. Akudama Drive Episode 9, The Shining. Bang Dream Season 3 Episode 13, This Right Here is the Girl Band Generation. Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 2 Episode 11, Yu Ishigami Closes His Eyes Part 3. ReZero Episode 29, Parent and Child. ReZero Episode 36, The Taste of Death. Wandering Witch Episode 9, A Deep Sorrow from the Past. And the winner of Best Episode is ReZero Episode 29, Parent and Child. Episode 29 wasn't just one of the most emotional ReZero episodes yet, but likely the most emotional of the year in general. Subaru is a protagonist who at times feels like he stagnates or gets stuck in a rut, and this episode was one that finally enabled him to face, accept, and move on from his past, but in doing so, also face the parents he left behind. Learning more about Subaru's backstory added some depth to his character and actions in previous episodes, but it's the conversations that he has with his mother and father, and the gut-wrenching performance from Yusuke Kobayashi that solidified this as the best episode of the year for me.
ごめんなさい。俺何にも返せないままきっともう会えない。ごめん。
You could essentially call 2020 the year of the sequel. By my count, we had more than 30 come out, and at least of the ones I watched, I was pretty happy with the lineup, as many of my favorite shows saw a return after a year or more of being gone. Here are the nominees for Best Sequel or Spin-Off. Bang Dream Season 3, Fate Grand Order Babylonia, Golden Kamuy Season 3, Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 2, My Hero Academia Season 4, ReZero Season 2 Part 1. And the winner of Best Sequel or Spin-Off is Fate Grand Order Babylonia. I feel like I've gushed about the show quite a bit already, but to sum it up, as a huge fan of the game, I couldn't be happier with how Cloverworks adapted my favorite arc to date. All of the major fights were bigger, better, and more imaginative than I ever could have hoped. The soundtrack was filled with incredible tracks, and they even gave some of the lesser appreciated servants from the game a chance to shine with expanded scenes. After seeing Babylonia take shape in Cloverworks' capable hands, I don't think I could possibly be any more excited for their upcoming Solomon adaptation. And here we are, the final award, Anime of the Year. Another award that I spent a while struggling to pick thanks to the fantastic lineup of shows that we got in 2020. Because in spite of everything 2020 threw at us, anime continued to deliver. Anime of the Year is a title reserved for a show I could see taking a place in my favorites list. A wonderful mix of every previous section: character, music, and production. It's finally time to find out what anime took it all home. So without further ado, here are the nominees for Anime of the Year. And the winner of Anime of the Year is Great Pretender. For the second year in a row, Wit Studio takes home the gold. Great Pretender is without a doubt one of the most creative and engaging anime I've ever gotten my hands on. It tells a complete globe-trotting epic of a story with a massive cast of unique, fun, likable adult characters whose developing dynamics and gradual backstory drip just made me more and more attached to them. As our group of con artists move from heist to heist and the stakes raise ever higher, I found myself getting pulled further and further into the wacky and original world that Wit dreamed up. And as each con went on, I often found myself getting conned right along with the villains. There are so many twists and surprises that I didn't see coming in how each con played out, and I loved constantly getting caught off guard with each surprise, even if some of them bordered on being particularly goofy towards the end. The art is hands down some of the best I've ever seen in anime, with a beautiful color palette and amazingly designed scenery and backdrops. The jazzy soundtrack by Yutaka Yamada perfectly complemented the tone of the show and the various heists, and the frequent insert songs got themselves stuck in my head. It's an incredibly imaginative anime and shows the heights that a talented, passionate team can accomplish. It's the type of show that I could see myself recommending to just about anyone, not just to those who already like anime, but even to those who could use an introduction to the medium thanks to its originality and accessibility. Great Pretender is a gem of an anime, and one that you absolutely need to check out. And with that, the 2020 JDefense Anime Awards officially come to a close. I'll list my full top 10 on screen as I close this out, so stay tuned if you're curious about the ranked list. At the risk of sounding like a broken record, I love anime as a medium and the many unique experiences it brings. At the end of the day, I'm just some random guy who makes YouTube videos from time to time, so I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come and check this out. I hope you enjoyed watching this award show, and please give the video a like or subscribe if you did. I'd love to hear your feedback and what your own favorites of the year were in the comments below or on my Twitter @JDefenseAnime, because at the end of the day, I made this channel as a creative outlet and a way for me to meet other people who enjoy anime just as much as I do. Here's to many more great anime in 2021, and hopefully a return to conventions. And as always, thank you so much for watching my video, and until next time.